Hello and welcome to my channel, and if you have already been to my channel, then welcome back. My name is Kalina and I'm an expert in public relations and mass communications. And before we get to the topic, I would like to invite you to like and share this video and also subscribe for my channel because you will support me a lot. If you like my content, this is the way to support it. So let's get to the actual topic. If you want to win in business or in the sphere of your career or in any professional environment, you need to become the least impressive person. Yes, the least impressive person. Because everybody are telling you need to go out there and impress people. Impress people, just be impressive. They need to be impressed by you. But here's the thing, what does it mean that people are impressed? Can you describe being impressed? Being impressed is like, wow, Well, can you imagine what kind of people will be constantly impressed by different other people? Well, of course, sometimes it will happen that somebody is impressed by something, but can you imagine the kind of people that will actually be impressed, that will say, I'm impressed? Can you imagine that? Do you think that they are at a higher level in their careers? Do you think that they will be at a higher position? Do you think that they will be at a stage of their career that they're either on a high management post or a CEO or an owner of a business or something like that? Because let me tell you something about the really successful people. They have a lot of experience, they have seen a lot of things, and they're not very easy to impress. And also, probably it is not really a good idea to strive for impressing them, because what they need to understand, let's say you want them to use your service, you want them to become your clients, what they actually need is for you to show up on time, show up confident, and they need to see that you have qualities, that you have potential for development, and they pretty much need to know that you will deliver. So it is not about being impressed, it's about having standard. Because the people that are truly successful, the people that they have already made it, they have standards, and they're looking at somebody who is going to match this standard. So instead of thinking, are those people going to be impressed by me? Should I wow them? Think about, does my product or service matches their standard? Because if it does, they will most likely hire you. And then you will get money. And then you will get actual business opportunities. Or maybe you will get a job. If you're not a business owner, if you are applying for a job, maybe you will get a job. Because the people who are interviewing somebody, they're not thinking how impressive that person is. They're thinking, can they do the job? Are they confident enough? Are they competent enough? Can we trust them with these accounts, or with money, or with communication with our clients, or maybe with the production? Will they show up on time? Will they be mature? Can we communicate with them? They're not going to hire the most impressive person. They will hire the one who belongs at that position, and the one who can deliver, and the one who can match standard. And let me tell you one more thing, because be impressive as much as you want to the people who easily impress, but people with actual standards, they have developed those standards for a reason, because they're already aware the level that people can get. So they're not going to be impressed by this level. They are having this standard, and people have to pretty much match their standard. So if somebody is too impressed all the time, be cautious, because you may actually not be at the right place. Maybe you're not at the right environment, and a lot of time they will probably not become your client. And even if they do, think about this kind of overly emotional, I'm impressed. Do they really understand what you're going to deliver? Do they understand that you're not somebody on a pedestal that they can be just impressed by and be like, wow? And you're not going to be like this wow person all the time. And let's say you have a consulting service, or you're creating a product. Well, this product is something for somebody to use and implement into their daily life, or into their career, or into their basically whatever they need to use it for, right? So yes, it's probably a good thing for some products to impress people, but also the people with actual standards, usually the people with actual standards are also the people who have money and who can afford more, who can afford to pay for a product. So let's say somebody's, wow, I'm impressed by this product, but I cannot afford it, unfortunately. That's also something that's happening very often. And it's like, okay, but do you want to be within this environment? And by the way, there's nothing wrong with people not being able to afford something, because I also can't afford a lot of things. Don't get me wrong, I have been through periods that I can afford or can't afford things. I'm not looking at it through this perspective as it's something bad if somebody cannot afford something, but I'm talking it from a position of practicality. And if you want to do actual business, and if you want to target correctly, those are probably not going to be the people that will be easily impressed. And there was some moment in my life that I started making difference between the environments that people are easily impressed, and then there is a higher environment that it's very difficult to impress people. And usually in this environment, in the higher environment that people are not easily impressed, they're very intimidating very often. They can look at you and literally look right through you and assess you. Then I'm not even trying to impress them. I'm usually sitting down and I'm listening, and I want to learn from those people. And if those people become, let's say, your client or use your product, it's like, yes, it's great. If they are happy with that, probably they are, because they are successful. Let's say they're happy with your product. Now, if you can offer something within a long term, so that's a whole different logic of doing business. Somebody is not impressed, but you're offering something that matches their standard, and they're ready to pay for that thing for a long term. So now you're doing good business. And in a lot of ways, when you're doing business, you need to detach yourself from that emotional thinking. Are they impressed? Am I validated? That's the other thing. I want to be validated. I want them to tell me I'm great. When you're doing business, telling you that you're great is not necessarily going to make you money. It's not necessarily going to get you a client that is going to be long term. So there is this slight difference that I wanted to clarify. And again, it is not like that the whole time for everything. Of course, there's different situations, there's nuances. Sometimes it is good to impress people. Sometimes people are impressed in some ways. In some situations, people can be like, yeah, I'm impressed by this, I want to have it. Sometimes that happens too. But I'm telling you that this is not the constant logic of when you're doing things. You know, sometimes it's like, yeah, I'm so impressed by this. I want to buy it and I have money right away and I'm going to buy it, and that's great if it happens sometimes. But in order to create consistency in your business and actually long-term development of a business, then you don't need people to be constantly impressed. You need people to buy, and you need people to use your products or services in a long term. And that would mean that people have standards and you need to match those standards, and that's it. That's okay in this kind of situation. Okay, so let me know what you think about the topic, because I know that a lot of people have different experiences, and I will be really happy to read your comments. And also I would invite you one more time to like, share and subscribe for the channel. And that's it for today. Thank you very much and have a great day.